Hey, hey, I didn't press the
Uh,
button hard enough. Gotta work
delay.
on gotta work on my trigger finger here.
Yeah, it's a delay. It's a delay. Trash talk, folks.
So I want to start the show off by saying that we are very, very grateful for all of the response that we got from our show from last week. We talked about a pretty sensitive subject, and we were honest in what we were saying. And a lot of people came back and said, we really appreciate you addressing it and maybe opening up our eyes a little bit more to the picture and
Yeah,
the ongoing situation we'll be covering in the future.
sure, of course. I
But
mean,
thanks for reaching out to us. We really appreciate it. That's important to us.
yeah, I need to go out and get some sun today. I look pale, man.
Huh? Yeah, you do.
Yeah, I wonder.
Or
I wonder. I
or get
normally
or get
look
a
this,
get a sun lamp or something.
I don't normally look this pale. I mean, and to truth be told, I didn't sleep great last night.
Well, you're
So
getting ready to go to Florida, aren't you?
yeah, in June. Yeah,
Yeah. So
gonna
couple of weeks, you know, you'll look like you came from the
yeah.
Caribbean.
My arms are good, and but I think I'll just go outside after. I don't know. I really think it's just because I didn't sleep well last night. I went to bed late. I wanted one of those moments. I've been working a lot, and it's been later shifts. And when I mean late, I don't mean like, nightclub late, but it's been 10-hour days. It's been coming
Yeah.
home. By the time I get settled, it's 10, and then I'm up at 6, and then whatever. But last night I was like, I'm going to stay up. I want to just have some unwind time. So I stayed up to like 1, and then, here I am. So anyway,
Yeah. Well,
freaking
you
bird.
you are such a trooper.
Yes. Just to be here too. Well, like part of it is like I was thinking, like, we schedule these things, we have to get these things done. There's a really loud bird on my patio right now. He's obnoxious.
Really?
I don't,
Yeah.
God.
I have one. I have one that gets on top of the chimney.
Oh,
There's a cover over the chimney, and we can be watching TV, and all of a sudden he's got a mating call going. And it echoes down the chimney.
well, it sounds like a mourning dove. Could be
Uh,
an owl. Could be an owl. But they usually are only around at night.
well,
So
I don't know, but we get it often,
yeah.
and
So before I go off and go investigate this bird, because I'm like, dude, do I got an owl? If I have an owl, I'm super happy. I love owls, but I think it's a mourning dove.
yeah,
My cat after it. My cat's gonna go investigate. So we have this schedule and we got to stick to it because we have a lot of things going on in our personal lives, and I got to be here for that routine and that schedule, and that's okay. But it got me thinking because I was on the phone with work before I jumped on here. You know, I understand that we get stuck in these ways of like, especially in work and like you have processes and you that's just the way they do it. But then like sometimes you have to think and go, okay, this process isn't working for this situation.
right.
Let me switch it up because I know there's other ways to do this. It's so crazy to me, and this is what this phone call is about. It's so crazy to me because I sit here and I'm explaining something to this person, and I'm like, hey, try this, try that. Because if you do that, it'll no, but that's just not the way we do it. No, I understand that's not the way we normally do it. But this way will work and it'll get the result that you're looking for. Yeah, I know, but if I go this way and I'm like, they just won't think outside. It's like, it's not even that I'm like asking them to break some like protocol or law or anything weird. They just are stuck. They're like, no, this is, and I'm like, look, and then you end up having to like get somebody else to do it because they just won't do it. I don't
Yeah.
understand why you can't think a little bit outside of the box, just a little, nothing crazy.
Well, look, if you're in a situation where everything that you do, for instance, in a production line, if you have to do it a certain way every day,
Get it?
just that's one thing. But for instance, companies will hire somebody to come in to assess their operation and give them a recommendation. And that's what consultants do. So they come in, they look at every aspect of a business, and they say to the president, I think that if you do this and this and this, it'll increase your profitability. And the president says, thank you very much. But, we've always done it this way for 20 years. And so we're going to keep on doing it. Well, then why did you hire somebody to come in and take a look and give you an opinion of how to become more efficient?
It happens so often. And
Yeah.
it happens with a lot of people. They just like, no, well, we've been, just because you've been doing something for 30 years doesn't mean that there can't be a better way or a different way or a more efficient way or an alternative way or that it was right. It's also the same thing in our personal lives too. I mean, they call it
Yeah.
insanity. Keep doing
Yeah.
the same thing over and over again and get the same result. That's called insanity,
Yeah. It's supposed to be called progress.
Right. And and
Yeah.
and we get guilty. I'm guilty of it too. Like, what happened? How did it do this? Well, I can tell you how it did it, Brandon. You didn't wake up this morning on time to work out. And then yesterday you had to go to work early. So now you missed 2 days. That's how it happened, Brandon.
Yeah.
Or why am I so broke at the end of the month? Well, Brandon, let's go back and look at the tail of the tape. Oh, you
Yes.
just do this 3 weeks in a row. Well, there's $150. That's frustrating. But it's crazy to me that, like, those things are little, I guess, but it's weird to me somebody in a working environment can't accept a new process. And I know most people don't like change, even though they want it, they don't like it. Like, they
Right.
want, but they don't. But it's crazy to me how people just get stuck to the point that they're missing out. They're missing an opportunity to maybe make more money, make their life better, or just missing out on an experience and they're willing to be in the mundane. I don't get it.
If you go back a few decades, a lot of businesses had a little thing at the checkout counter called a suggestion box.
I
And
know.
they would encourage their customers, they would encourage their employees, whatever, to just write down something, a suggestion. Maybe improve the lighting in the store to make the products look better. But we have just done away with the idea of suggestion boxes because if nobody's going to listen to a suggestion, then why bother having a suggestion box?
Well, I feel that way.
And it's just like what you're saying, and it's usually, I think the successful companies, especially I'm talking about even mom and pop operations and small to medium sized companies, if you don't listen to the boots on the ground, you're destined for trouble,
Well,
because it's the people that are doing the job from the ground level every day that are the ones that come up with probably the best ideas for improvement.
sure.
It,
No, and I mean, those are the people that see like little nuances of the job and little like, oh man, and sometimes look, sometimes situations present themselves that nobody thinks about. Like, that's just reality. So then you're like, okay, you got to adjust at that moment. But then now how do we plan? Because if it happened once, it's look, I go back to Texas and the way that they handle ice and snow. They never, ever, ever spend the money to get like just one truck per county to do anything. They're like, well, we get it so infrequently, we don't feel like it's worth the money. But yet it
right.
happens here at least twice. That's not it. So you're willing to shut down a town, put people's lives at risk, lose millions of dollars in revenue because you don't want to spend a couple million now to make up. Well, and it,
Or you end up spending millions to correct things that go wrong because you weren't proactive to do something that would prevent things from going wrong. And
my
that to me is the what makes a good business a good business, is the fact that they are thinking in the future. They're being proactive instead of reactive.
you
Uh,
have to you have to think that way. Like, even on, like,
yeah.
I break it down like with me and my job, and I'm looking at it going, okay, I know what we have this week. I know what we need to do this week, and we need to execute it. But we also have these three events and things coming next week that we also simultaneously, while we're executing this week, we need to prepare, promote, and get everything ready for that. And then just around the corner, we have this thing that's coming. So when we get to this week, you have to do that. You can't just go, I am here today to do XYZ only. Yes, that's part of it. You got a list and you got your projects and you got your sales. I'm here to do that today, but I got to
Yep.
find some time to do X or, A, B, C, D or whatever. And you got to do that because if you don't do that, you are never going to develop. You are never going to move forward. And I see it happen all the time. The biggest thing is, well, everybody knows how much I hate meetings. I think they're the biggest waste of time in history, especially the meetings that I'm supposed to go to.
Yeah.
They're just, it's just so bigwigs can feel like they can justify their paycheck. Because some of these meetings have zero to do with anything that involves in what I'm doing. I can go to a meeting for an hour and they don't even mention anything connected to me. And I'm like,
Yep. Right.
you
And
just,
now you're an hour behind in getting your
yeah.
job done.
And where was the value added? I didn't give you guys anything in this meeting. I didn't come in with some crucial. All I did was to sit there and go, "Oh yeah, that's great. Yeah, okay." So
Now,
you
you
sit.
see, one of the alternatives to that is that you have somebody that you can delegate that authority to go to the meeting, so that
Yeah,
you can take care of business while
yeah.
they go come
I,
back with an empty notepad.
I usually don't go. I'll be honest with you. Um, I usually will sit there and go, "Okay, what's this meeting about?" Oh, nothing. Cool. I'm not going. Now, if
Okay.
it's
Yeah.
it's about a new promotion, if it's about a project, if it's a holiday planning, I'm in. I got you. That's important. But if it's just a weekly check-in to sit there and look at something that every single one
Right.
of us can pull up on a screen, I'm
Yeah.
not.
Yeah. To sit around, just share coffee and donuts,
I'm not.
and talk. Yeah.
I'm not. So, and then when you bring something up to the meeting, oh, okay, that's interesting. Then nothing happens. So I'm like, cool. Why am I here? It's
Well,
stupid.
that's why I say if what comes out of that meeting is somebody in management that's earning twice what you are and doing half the work, says, okay, Brandon, why don't you take charge of this and run with it? Maybe something then was going to happen.
Yeah.
But very often, just I want you to come up with a plan and everything, and bring it to the table next week, and we'll talk some more about it.
We'll have another meeting about it.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm like, I have not been to one meeting so far in this new location I'm at that has been valuable. Well, granted, I've only gone to one, but still, um, not valuable. I'm just not. But these are the things that people get stuck. They feel that it's important. They believe it's important. So they continue to do it. And they're not listening to the rest of the crowd or the few of us that are like, hey, maybe we time these differently. Maybe we tailor the meeting to the departments that it affects so that
Right.
we're not pulling everybody off the floor and taking away from sales, which ultimately is what we want.
And
You know?
we live in a technological age right now too. And what in my mind, if I'm going to have a meeting, then get together some of the ideas and concepts and everything for the meeting and email it to everybody and tell them before you come to the meeting, go
This
over this and come with your comments and your questions and all, so that now you can take a 2 hour meeting and cut it down to 30 minutes.
sucks. There's one every Monday, and Monday is one of the most important days for me. So I'm
Sure.
like, you're not.
It's your recovery day. Right.
I am,
Yep. Yep.
and I every single. I probably on a Monday in my 8 hour shift, or what's essentially longer, sometimes in my 8 hour shift, I probably speak to 30 different vendors about we're changing displays. we're ordering product, we're looking at demos, we're creating events, all in that 8 hour window. If you take an hour and a half away from me, let's just be on the little side, the short side. You take an hour away from me every Monday off the floor. You
Right.
have now me back. I'm going to have to stay an hour to make up for that. You are
Right.
now setting me back, and I could be missing opportunities, which could cost me thousands of dollars. So you take an hour away, that's 4 hours a week, right? Or 4 hours a month. I'm one manager. You want every manager there? How much money is that?
Right.
And how much money am I losing?
Yeah. And also
So
when you do get back to the department and all, you got 6 calls that
oh
came
my
in
God.
and left messages. And now you got to do your job and find the time to return the calls to find out what those were about.
It's not even 6 calls. It's literally 7 people standing there waiting to talk to me.
Okay. Yeah.
And then it's like, well, we got to pull these numbers up, let's go to the back. No, dude, like I ain't doing it. So I just flat out say no, and I'm willing to die on that hill. You
Yep.
know, like that's my battle. I'm like, you know what?
Send me a text. Forward me the agenda for the meeting, and I'll go over it and get back to you.
And if you really want me, you think it's that big of a deal, then show me, like, write me up. Yeah, I really like you to write me up for not going to your pointless meeting. I want to see how that's going to play out. You know,
Yeah.
but they
Uh,
get stuck in that way, and they did their tunnel vision. They block it out. They act like they want to hear a new way, but they don't. And it was just like the phone call this morning. And I get it. We're all guilty of doing that. Sometimes I'm stuck in my ways, but if my way is proven to be better than yours, like I always say, if you've got another alternative or you have a better way, please show me. But if I end up seeing that it's not that way, we're going to stick it to my way.
and
Anybody
yeah, the key to what you said is show me.
show
Because
me.
if somebody comes up with an idea and says, "I think that if we did this, it would make us better," the best thing to do is to say, "I'll tell you what, show me. Let's try it. It might work. If it
Right.
works, pat them on the back and congratulations, you just made things better. But if it
Exactly.
doesn't work, say, I was a little skeptical, but I wanted you to have the opportunity to do it. I mean,
Well,
isn't that a more successful way to go?
Well, and you're encouraging growth and you're showing support for the people that you work with, your partners and all that. And that's important because otherwise they're just going to be here and then they're going to get complacent and they're not going to feel like they're part of a team. And you could be missing out on a great opportunity.
Yeah,
And you know what? That looks good on everybody. If your teammate, partner, coworker comes up with a phenomenal idea under your watch, yes, they're going to get love, but you also look pretty good too.
that's why we're so successful because you come up with an idea and I say, okay, run with it,
True.
or vice versa.
That's
So,
true.
yeah. But hey, listen, before we take off, can you answer me a question?
No.
Yeah. Over your shoulder, you got a bottle there that says TNT.
Oh, yeah. You like that?
I mean, I, I'm thinking, wait a minute, Brandon's sitting there with a bottle of TNT in his house.
I
That
don't know
that's toxic.
if you can see it up here, but there's a wine saber there too. I got a saber. You know, that's my TNT bucket from when we went to go see Minecraft, man.
Oh, there you go. I knew there
Yeah,
was an explanation. I just didn't want to say that you were building bombs in your house or something.
I might. I might be.
Well, go out and make it a good one and come back and see us again next Tuesday morning. Okay, 8 o'clock. We'll be
See you
here.
later.
Bye.